following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. It is 4:02 on Tuesday afternoon, time for the 4 p.m. 411 here on WLCN 96.3 FM. We will be here for the next half hour talking about topics of public interest and things people should know about. And who better to talk about things people should know about and being in the know, then Andrea Runge, our guest today from I never remember it, from Loyd.
Yes, Lincoln Economic Advancement and Development. Ooh, you had it. Inc. Yes.
Well, I had it about a half second after you said it. So, and Andrea, as I said, will be here for the next half hour. 217-648-5510, the number to call if you have questions or just would like to make a comment about things related to the Loyd organization or economic development or the city of Lincoln in general. I was trying to think. I think this is your third time here, or is it
I
the
think
fourth?
It is the third time. I think I've done Viewpoint three times, and I think I've done 411 at 3 times.
3 times. So it's not like Saturday Night Live, so we don't have like the 5-timers club and you don't get a jacket.
What the heck?
You can pet the cat while you're here. So.
Well, I could pet the cat my first time
That's
here,
true.
but she does remember me now, which is just a positive for me.
Well, how could anyone forget you? So.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, I can tell.
I am.
So let's talk about Loyd, Lincoln Economic Advancement and Development Incorporated.
There you go.
Remember. So for those folks who may not be aware, what does the organization do here in Lincoln?
So Loyd started in March of 2021 with my hire, but the work of Loyd actually started before that. It was a labor of love of some local business owners. They started doing some outreach and some surveying back in 2019, and then worked on that through the pandemic, and then at the end were ready to hire me. And we've been here working just over 3 years. I think that we're making really great strides in developing an entrepreneurial ecosystem here. We have a lot of new businesses opening. They're in a lot of different sectors. They're not large scale. We're not attracting large scale businesses, but at this point, it's not been our focus for this first 3 years. It's really about empowering local entrepreneurs and helping them through that idea stage. If they've not gone through that, helping them with financing if they need that kind of assistance, and then helping them if they've already existed with their expansion efforts. And so, these first 3 years have really been a one-on-one type of coaching more than anything, because it's not about prescribing what happens in their business journey. It's about understanding what they want to happen in their business journey and then helping them either through our own board, because we have a purposeful board that represents all different kinds of industries. And so either we can go within our board or we connect them with either new programming or with people that can help them get to that next level of their business journey.
Okay. And you mentioned, I think you mentioned it in there, but we talked about economic development. A lot of people think of that as being new businesses, but you also help existing businesses as well, correct? Yeah.
So, there are 4 ways that we can build an economy, and that's creation, attraction, retention, and expansion. I wrote my thesis for my master's degree about how to incorporate community well-being with economic investment. And what I found during that process, which took a long time, but what I found was that when you want to make sure that someone creates a business that also is concerned about the well-being of a community, the best way to do that is to grow that entrepreneur locally. A lot of people might call it economic gardening. We're really just nurturing and empowering local people to become the entrepreneurs they can be, and helping them through that process. And when you focus on those other 3 things, creation, retention, expansion, and you do it the right way, then attraction actually is something that happens organically. It's not something that you have to go out and, actively market. Now, does that help? Yes. But we are also a private nonprofit. We work on donations and being seen in that site selector's world is really, really difficult. It costs a lot of money to do that. And if you know how marketing works better than anybody, and we know that we have to not only hit them once, we have to hit them multiple times with the same kind of messaging, right, so that it recalls to them and it's something that they can bring forth and think of and make action and do. Mm-hmm. So doing that repetitively is even more costly. So in order for a more rural area to kind of look at economic development, it's better for us to do economic gardening in this way and then allow our entrepreneurs to say, hey, we've got an amazing economic development engine here. You should come and check it out. And when that happens, then, well, we know this too, people are more likely to understand and comprehend or internalize that messaging if it comes as a form of a testimonial from someone they know. Right. And so we have purposely kind of ramped our services up, partially because I'm a one-woman show, so we need to do things pretty slowly. But the other thing is that because it makes sense for the area that we're working in.
Sure. And if you have those messages from other entrepreneurs sort of happening organically as opposed to paid advertisements, I think they carry a lot more, I don't know, people tend to buy into them a little bit more, other than, well, that's an ad. Of course they're going to say it's a great place to build a business. Or
right. It helps with credibility and trust building. And because I didn't grow up here in Lincoln and Logan County, I think that is such a huge part of building trust in the community, is to just do what I say, and be consistent, so that people can say, who you need to talk to is Andrea Runge. And I hear that all the time. I've been hearing from everybody that I'm supposed to talk to. I'm like, okay, it's working. Yeah. But it takes a little different approach than one might think. And that's because when we see economic development in like making a headline, mm-hmm, of some type, it's usually, big jobs coming and right, it's this big show. But the daily work of economic development is really much more about making sure that the businesses that we have want to stay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And that takes us to our first break, so we'll go ahead and pause here for a couple minutes to do our own advertising, but we'll be back in 2 minutes with Andrea Runge and more information about the Loyd organization right after these messages.
Brian Clark State Farm offers a range of insurance products to fit your unique needs and give you a peace of mind. Our dedicated team helps you find the perfect policy to safeguard your biggest investments. Brian Clark State Farm can steer you in the right direction on auto insurance, and we've got your home covered from natural disasters to unexpected accidents. Contact me, State Farm Agent Brian Clark, at 217-732-6211 or visit sfinsurelincoln.com. Go Railers!
Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411 here on WLCN 96.3 FM. Our guest for the next 20-ish minutes is Andrea Runge, the CEO of the Loyd organization. Again, if you have questions or comments, 217-648-5510, the number to call, and you can direct them to Ms. Runge. We were talking a little bit about advertising, branding, what do I want to say?
Marketing.
Attracting businesses to Lincoln. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned how some of that happens, if it happens organically, that it tends to have a little more credence to it or a little more believability. There's actually sort of an effort you're spearheading, I guess, or steering the ship on to sort of encourage a bit more of that on behalf of Lincoln. Is that correct?
That is correct. So this was something that I thought of. I would say it was spurred. I came out and we talked about the Reverse and the Exodus programming, and we did that twice. Right. And it was the second time that we did that I was thinking about the fact that here we have in Lincoln young people who are in creative jobs and in media and marketing jobs that have chosen Lincoln to be their home. And how is it that we best tell the story of attracting young people than to have young people do that?
Sure.
And so I wrote a grant, and I didn't get it. That's part of the nonprofit world. And when I asked why not, they said, well, we didn't know who else had proven this would work. And I was like, well, nobody's done it, I don't think. So luckily, I was able to get some funding from the Woods Foundation to pay for a 3-year project so that we can prove that it works. And I'm lucky to have a really great group of young professionals that we meet about every other week at this point. We're still in the formation stage, but it's both Ethan and Justin from Double Oak Branding. It's Zach from Z Culture. It's Jacob from Jacob Tyler Media. And it's Kale West from Print Digital. And we are getting together and talking about how we can create content because, it's much different than when we'd write a letter to the editor maybe, or we'd come on a radio show. And well, we know that young people are looking to TikTok for everything, which is interesting. But so how is it that we create content that is something that is going to be enjoyed and paid attention to by young people to tell Lincoln's story about how we just want people to come here and be exactly who they want to be. Right. And so we've been working on the concept. We've got some branding that started, and we've been calling it the Lincoln Way. And I won't tell too much about it just because I don't want to steal their thunder. Sure. They're young and cool, and I'm just happy that they allow me to, sit with them and have coffee and brainstorm about what this can be. But I think that it is really exciting to couple with the Facebook group that's out right now, Rebuilding Lincoln. There's a lot of really grassroots type things that are coming up on the community development side. Right. And the two things together, they just make my heart happy because that's exactly what, I was hoping would happen. And here it is, and it's happening. And there's so many opportunities for us to just get together and tell the story of why this is such a great place to live, work, play, and thrive.
Right. Yeah, because I don't know, sort of the default, I think, for marketing is, well, if I'm going to do something, I'll just put it on Facebook.
Sure.
And I was actually, for a class I teach at Heartland, a communication class, we watched a video where a news reporter was interviewing, I think it was his 8-year-old daughter or 11-year-old daughter, talking to her about social media, and he asked her, well, do you have Facebook? And she said, well, no, I'm not a grandparent. So
right. There's so much that and it changes all the time. The algorithms change all the time, and Cale has his finger on the pulse of all of that. And so having him be kind of the navigating, we sometimes look to him and I'll say, Cale, if we have to decide, like instead of flipping a coin between left and right, which one it will get us the most response on social, and he will, left. Oh, great. And it's the world that they live in.
Right.
And, I no offense to you or to me, but we don't need more people like you and I. We need young people who are passionate and about Lincoln and want to build a family, build a business, raise both to make Lincoln's future brighter. Sure. And happy to be a part of that. And like I said, we have the best time. They make fun of me, I make fun of me, and in the meantime, we get some work done.
Yeah, because there's so much. I remember when I took a physics class at Lincoln College, the instructor, one of the first things he said is, the more you know, the more you find out you don't know. And that applies to a lot of things, especially marketing and social media these days.
Oh, yeah.
You start to create a Facebook page, and then you're like, oh, well, you can do geofencing so that this shows up in this certain area, or people that have these likes will see this. And
right, it's kind of stalker-ish,
right.
Very Big Brother, but very effective, which is, I think that everyone who works in that arena feels like that's super cool and kind of creepy, but that's the way the world is going right now. And it is changing how we do attraction, because we do have an arm that works on attraction. We have a company called Next Site, and they are looking at our West Side vacancies. We know that's a big issue for us, but because we don't have the ability to go to all of these huge conventions and say, let me tell you about Lincoln, they kind of do that for us. And they track, I don't know how many millions of cell phone movement, and help us with that part too, which is, again, cool and creepy.
But kind of dovetailing on that or piggybacking on that, these types of things we're talking about here in terms of economic development and learning more, not only do you offer services in those areas that you can point people in the right direction, but also offer some different classes or seminars or meetings that business owners can attend to learn more about different topics. And I understand you've got a couple of those coming up.
We do. Yes. We have some offerings. I tend to call them community learnings because I don't know exactly what to call them. But so we've got two that are coming up. The first one, the press release and the flyers going out very soon. We've partnered with a company called Landmarks Illinois. They are a nonprofit, and they help communities, business owners, and just general people who want to protect, preserve, and appreciate older structures, historic structures. And to do that, help people understand how to use historic tax credits to make those things happen. And so their downstate person, his name is Quinn Adamowski. He will be coming to Lincoln on May 14th. It's all the last pieces are being finalized, but this is what we think it's going to be. Okay. It's going to start at tourism with a presentation from Quinn and a discussion of how those tax credits work. Lincoln's great. We've got a historic downtown district, which means that buildings within a certain area don't even have to get the recognition to do that. They can just be eligible. So he's going to talk about, I think he calls it lasagna, but it's really, it's funding stacking or layering. And so he's going to talk about how some of those funding sites play well together in the same pool. And then we're going to take a walk around downtown, and we're going to just see what we see and see if anything is sparked by our morning learning. And then we're going to have a brainstorming lunch at Blue Dog, courtesy of Loyd. So that's going to be a great morning on May 14th. And then the other thing is that back in the end of 2022, we did a workforce development survey of local businesses, and one of the things that was very consistent consistent in their responses were that some of their employees really could use some soft skill brush-ups. And rather than reinventing the wheel, we went to our great partners at Heartland Community College, and they said, hey, we've got essential workplace skills, which is kind of a package deal ready to go. And again, we used some of that money from the Woods Foundation to say, okay, if we have this here and people need it, well, we just need to connect the dots. And so Lead we've done one already. We did one in January. It was communicating effectively. And now we've got the next one coming up. It should be at the beginning of June. That is eligible for anyone who lives or works in Lincoln, and Lead covers 60% of the cost of that session. Oh, nice. And so businesses who maybe are struggling with the financial part of that, we're happy to underwrite part of that through that grant. And the other piece is that if they just want to, and it happened once already, we had somebody who sent kind of some middle management and then said, this is awesome, our employees need this, and then they are working together with Heartland directly to offer that to their entire staff. So, we're just trying to figure out what things are here that are not being utilized, and how do we find the need and the solution, and connecting those dots for people.
Yeah. Okay. You okay if we bypass this break?
It's up to you. You're driving.
All right, I suppose I am. So I've just got one more topic here on our list, but we've only got about 6 minutes left. So I know you've been involved with the discussions as far as the Logan Correctional Center. So
yeah.
I don't know what you can share about that or what you care to share about that, but I know Lead has been instrumental in organizing a letter writing campaign on behalf for sort of templates for businesses as well as templates for individuals. Can you kind of talk about that, or
sure,
what might be on the horizon up and coming?
Sure. I can share a little. So I did have 3 templates I sent out, one for business, one for schools, and one for individuals. If you need that template and you haven't seen it, please let me know. Runge at thriveinlincoln.org. Okay. And that's ARUNGE at thriveinlincoln.org. Happy to give you that template so that you can let people know that how much Logan means to us, to your family, to the people that you serve. We've done a few things. We've done an economic impact study out of University of Illinois. We found that 61%. The economic impact is going to be $61 million. Wow. And that they believe that the loss of Logan would trigger an additional loss of 57 jobs within the county. So it's a big issue for us to consider. I can share with you that there is discussions happening. There was one this morning. We were down, and when I say we, that's County Chair Emily Davenport. It is Tracy Welch, Mayor Tracy Welch, Senator Sally Turner, Senator Doris Turner out of Sangamon County, and Representative Dr. Bill Howder. And we met, and their staffs met with representatives of IDOC and the governor's office this morning to tell the community side of the story. And what I can tell you is that the conversation went fine. It was well received. They were appreciative of the additional information. We're not sure what that's going to mean yet. Right. But these things take time. The report, they have to put out a report to a place called COGFA, which is CGFA. It's a government watch for the disposal of assets. So they did put that out on Friday. So we know that at this point they are considering closing Logan eventually and rebuilding it elsewhere. But what we also know is that their timeline for that is pretty long. Now, with that, it's not time to be complacent.
Right.
So we have a longer timeline, and therefore it's easy for us to be like, it's like Christmas shopping. Like, we can put that off. We can't put that off. We have to be talking right now about what that means for the people who work there, what that means for us as a community, what does that mean for that piece of property. It's 150 acres right outside of town. There's a lot of moving parts and pieces. The impression that I got this morning from the Department of Corrections and the governor's office both was that, that they appreciated that we were willing to come to the table with them, and that they are at this point getting that stakeholder feedback. So I really don't know what the outcome of this morning will be.
Sure.
I would just tell your listeners to be watchful for things that are coming forth, because, like I said, we do have a few years before we believe that it's going to mean the actual closure of this, but the time is now to act.
Sure. And so where would people find that information? Because we talked about social media being good for promoting things. You also see all sorts of rumors and
Sure.
things. Are there like some official pages or official sources that would maybe be a little more trustworthy than?
No, probably not yet. But this is what I can tell you. We are working on making sure that the community is well informed, and how that will look is still being formulated. Like I said, our meeting was just this morning, so
Sure.
There's a lot of this that's kind of still being formed. But there will be an opportunity, even in addition to the letter writing campaign that so many people have already done, which is great. There will be an official link where people can go online and again, kind of make an official comment as to the fate of Logan.
Okay.
So it's forthcoming.
All right. Very good. And if folks have any questions about any of this that you just said, including economic development, you want to give your email or phone number? Or?
Absolutely. So anything that, even if you think that it might be something we do, let me know, because I know some people in town, and sometimes I can point you the right direction, even if it's not me. You can reach me at by phone, 217-871-1439. Again, that's 217-871-1439. Or you can email me, Runge at thriveinlincoln.org.
And Runge is R-U-N-G-E.
It's R-U-N-G-E. That's
right,
correct.
Very good. So we have reached the 4:30 half hour, I guess. So our thanks to Andrea Runge. We'll two more times. I don't know. Maybe we'll find a jacket for you for the Five Timers Club. So.
What color is the jacket? Is it green? Like I have a green jacket, like a master's jacket. Maybe I'd just make myself like a badge.
A badge or like a sash, like you won a contest?
Or a crown with 5 stars.
Ooh, that might be something.
Yeah, that would be fun. I could totally rock a tiara.
Maybe we can talk about getting a grant for that when we're done here. So,
I don't think that'll work.
Oh, all right. Well, it was a good idea. So thanks again to Andrea for being here. Next week we'll have, it is the first Tuesday of the month, so Tracy Welch will be here talking about all things Lincoln as well. And be sure to tune in tomorrow morning for Viewpoint, 8 a.m. They will actually be starting the show a little bit late, I understand, because at 8 a.m. will be the concert announcement for this year's Logan County Fair, the headliner for the entertainment. So that will be happening at 8 a.m. tomorrow, followed by Viewpoint. So lots of things to tune in for. You can find out more at WLCNonline.com. Thanks for listening this time, and we will talk to you next time. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.